You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's American Idol After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's American Idol After Show.
Oh! Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down.
It's gotta be the hat.
Take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you how I became the prince of a town called Bel Air.
Now that is a start. Give it up to Marissa. Thank you so much.
Yes, Marissa.
Woo! All right, AfterBuzz TV Nation, we all know that Bing is for doing, and we are doing another after show for AfterBuzz TV. I am JC, and this is American Idol Season 12, Episode 3, and all right, reunited because it feels so good. I am here with my main man, that's right, host, actor, model, musician, Ham for short, Mr. Mark E. Allen.
Cheers, what's going on, man?
What's
Long
up?
time no see.
I know, it's been like, God, it feels since like last year.
I know. Or like 4 weeks ago. But, you know, you weren't here last week. I had to hold it down for you. Now you're back in action.
Dude, I lost my job. Are you kidding me? You were awesome. You guys were awesome. So good to be back. Literally, this is the best reality singing competition there is out there. I'm sorry, bar none. You can have your voice. You can have duets. You name it. Idol's still the king. I'm sorry.
Definitely, I agree with that for sure.
Absolutely. So
It's the main one, man.
yeah, and a quick shout out, of course, she had our intro tonight. Marissa, what's going on?
Hi, guys.
Are you ready to be blown away for another? We've only, sit back, because we've only got about 20 weeks of this.
Yeah, and only like
that's
30
all right.
people to talk about
Take
tonight.
your time.
Yeah.
So,
20 weeks, 30 people to talk about tonight. And quick shout out, everyone, if you guys are listening to us on iTunes or watching us on AfterBuzzTV.com live, hello. But if you're not watching us live, go to iTunes. Go to YouTube. Make sure you comment, subscribe. We really do read all your feedback. We go with what you guys say. We make changes. It's definitely up to you. You're our third host, so we definitely appreciate it. Plus, it really helps us because all this stuff is free, and we do it for you. So it helps keep the lights on. So make sure to comment and subscribe.
well
All
said,
right.
JC. Well said.
Thank you. I've done it once or twice before. But all right, quick impressions. What did you think about tonight's show, man?
Tonight's
Overall?
show, yeah, it was a little crazy. Last week, you know, just jumping into it, we got to see some familiar faces or whatever. Tonight, I didn't know what to expect from North Carolina, but they definitely came through. Came through.
Did you guys happen to talk about the judges and whatnot, and like the new judges, the dynamics? If you...
Yeah, we feel like, you know, we talked about how they kind of have all their bases covered with this, with Nicki Minaj, with Keith Urban, they're, you know, and Mariah Carey. Everybody's different, has their own lane, and then you got Randy the dog just keeping it real. So, and this year I feel like they did it right for sure.
Yeah, no. I was going to say, chat roll. They're already hitting us with little messages. So we'll be answering all your questions. Bust your cuz, bust your cuz. We're listening to you right now. But you know,
How do you feel about the judges?
they're judging this year. Hear me out. Hear me
Wait
out
a
here.
second.
They're judging because literally when it was J-Lo and Steven Tyler and Randy, they all seemed to agree on everything.
Yeah.
It was just very kumbaya, happy-go-lucky family.
It's like nobody wanted to kind of spoil their reputation.
Right. And I think they've hit a gold mine with Nicki. Nicki Minaj is going to turn them upside down. And there's some stuff coming up later this season with some, you know, you can already see the Mariah and Nicki like head-to-head stuff. But there's something big coming, and we've got so much to cover. We've got some inside information about it, but that's coming up a little bit later in the season. But right now, I love it. I love having 4 judges in the. We've had 4 judges before, and it really didn't work out. I thought
not as well. No, because they were kind of like they're throwing just one person in to try to, help out and get their fan base, bring it in. With this year, they have almost a brand new cast. So with everything said, it's something different that you're not used to, and then just the dynamics with Keith Urban being like the nice guy most of the time,
right,
and kind of having to be the mediator between the 2 girls. You never know what's going to happen.
He's the scratching post.
Yeah, and then that's what he said too. But and then he has to leave to go, because they all have their lives and they're crazy busy even without the show. So he had to go like tonight with to be with Nicole Kidman and leaving Randy there alone with the girls. So you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I really am. And okay, if you've been following us last season, we know we have some fans we have like 3 from last season that followed us along. And the return, I got to talk about it for 2 seconds from last week. Johnny Kaiser.
Johnny Kaiser.
He's back. And I think, was it you or I who said he's going to win this year? And we called it last season.
Yeah, I think you said it last season. You even tweeted about it last week. Even before I even watched the show, I saw your tweet. I was like, oh, I guess you spoiled it for me. But Johnny Kaiser, how did you feel about his audition versus him last year?
Not as good.
Not as good, man.
No.
Listen. I know he's got like mad game in this singing industry, but I wasn't blown away like we were last year. We expected so much. We expected him to pretty much win it last year,
right?
And him coming out this year, I mean, we know he's got a bag of tricks, and he's well known from last year. So
right, maybe it kind of like last year's Colton.
Right,
exactly. This year would be Johnny this year. But yeah, I was not impressed at all. And I'd seen some tweets, during the off season of the show, where Randy was hanging out with Johnny Kaiser and they were recording.
Right.
So that's why I was like,
that's right.
Is he going to be ineligible or whatnot? But I know we're spending too much time on someone from last week.
Our boy Johnny. Johnny be good.
Let's talk about this week. Let's get into Charlotte. And do you want to start out with the good, the bad, or the ugly, or just... You want to start with the clothing designer?
Yeah, we might as well. Just because it was...
It's in chronological order and makes it easy because we're not too sharp.
Omi.
Omi. Your name is Omi. Omi.
We have a lot of nicknames tonight.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
So she was rocking some style?
Yeah. She looked cool. She looked, she looked gorgeous, whatever. And that's why we didn't know really what to expect. And then she got into Respect.
Did you respect it?
No, man. I mean, it just she looks good, sounds whack, and that pretty much sums it up for me.
We're pulling up. You know what? Because we've got 2 years. Been doing the show, and I'm not going to hold back. I got a headache listening to Omi.
Yeah, it was bad. Naomi Morris, man.
She hurt me. I'm sorry. She beautiful style. She's got her own personality, but singing's just not her thing.
No, and they definitely let her know.
Okay, let's talk about that for 1 second. Even though the judges are saying no, but they have amazing criticism. It's very constructive, and focus on your clothing, focus on other stuff.
Right.
They're not just so cruel and crass like in past seasons.
Exactly, and I think that is like the name of the game, especially in this industry of entertainment, because at the end of the day, you can judge somebody like they're supposed to. You can give them some criticism, constructive criticism, but at the end of the day, it just needs to be positive. You need to wrap it up and be positive because, listen, we're not all great at everything. We all have our strengths and weaknesses, but you just have to keep it positive at the end of the day. And I think they even said it with her or somebody else. They said, somebody should have told you that before you even came in here. But they all have this. When a producer tells you that you're coming back on American Idol, which this is not their first audition, which we've talked about before, this is their probably third or something like that, to get to the judges. You go through all these screening rounds before as an audition for the actual show. So they're coming into this competition in front of the real judges thinking that maybe they do have a chance. And sometimes, they should know, and somebody should have told them. Sometimes I just feel bad.
Yeah,
we got crazy later on.
And there's a book that just came out. It came out, I believe, in the last few weeks. It's called Elimination Night, which they say it's a trusted source that's worked close within the Idol family, and they talk about all the stuff that we're talking about because I'm sure a lot of fans don't know this. That because they're wondering, well, how do these people make it so far?
Right.
How do they make it in front of the judges? Well, it's because, according to this book, it says that the contestants are led to believe that they are really have a chance at Idol, at being, the American Idol. So, is that cruel? Is that I love the show, but we just want to be that, we want to tell you guys what's really going on, just so you know what it's all about. So we've gone with the bad. So maybe it'll get better with Mr. Joe. What was it? Joe from Carly, the free runner, the guy who fell on a wall.
Right. Yeah. Joel Nemoyer.
Joe Nemoyer,
I think was his actual name. But yeah, he sang "Feeling Good" by Michael Bublé on his back.
Yeah, it's worked in the past? Not really.
Well, they showed a clip with Daughtry doing one of the exercises. This I forget what it corrects or helps you. I think with breathing or something with laying on your back. However, you're not supposed to perform that way.
Have you ever had to do that?
I've never done that. No.
Okay.
Weren't you gonna do that starting off the show? We got crazy with it.
We were gonna open the show with one of us, probably me, laying on the table singing the open to the show, but smartly we decided against it. But
Fresh Prince in Bel-Air.
Yeah. Thank you for Marissa. She saves us from weekly embarrassment.
Yeah. Don't worry, we will embarrass ourselves sooner or later.
His feeling good left me feeling bad.
Yeah,
that's all I wrote. Yeah. So we got so many people in. Coming up, if you're sticking around, make sure to tune in for the girls from Nashville who are following our show. So we're going to breeze through some of these, but let's get to maybe someone good.
Please, let's get there.
Brian, what is it, Rittenberry?
Rittenberry, yeah.
Rittenberry from the South. Okay, the second you heard him speak, did you know he was going to be a good singer?
His tone of his voice was... Just him speaking was already cool enough.
Yeah.
And that's what I think even somebody hinted on too, Nikki or somebody, when he came in, she was just hoping that he would sing with the same voice that he speaks with. Mm-hmm. Luckily, that's the only voice he has, and that's what he sings with. So,
and it's remarkable that on top of this amazing voice, he has a story.
Right, yeah, this was our first heart-wrenching story of the night.
His wife, Megan, who had stage 4 appendix cancer.
Right.
And
was told she had 2 years to live.
Yeah.
Now 3 years later, they said she's more healthy. So,
now did they happen to cover if he was like a songwriter by chance?
He was a bookkeeper. I know that. But I think they showed that he always sang in his past. But she would even tell him to go downstairs.
She put him in the basement.
Yeah.
Right?
Which she happens to be a huge Keith Urban fan.
Oh, right, that's right. I think half the women that show up there, they just want to see Keith.
Right, yeah.
Honestly.
What about Randy? He's got style.
Yeah, he's got his watch line.
Right, yeah.
I don't know if you've seen his watch line on QVC. Amazing.
Right.
Yeah. So see, he's got watches.
You love QVC.
No, but all right. I asked if he was a songwriter because you would think through that life experience and him having a daughter, a family, what's that going to be like being without his wife possibly? Right. That must be just a great place for inspiration for material for him. So, if luckily, do they ever get? I don't know if they ever get to do their own songs on Idol. They don't really.
Actually, we've heard some auditions with their own songs this year.
Yes, with Des Bond.
Des Bond from last week, second night, Thursday night, right?
Yeah. Do you think he'll go live? Do you think he'll make it past Hollywood Week? Is it too early? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think they do a lot of this stuff. They're kind of taking, like, we'll see in a little bit, the fact that they invited people or surprised them with an audition, kind of like The Voice. Also with their original songs, kind of like X Factor. So, but it's smart. They have to switch it up a little bit and gauge it as far as what works with the other shows, just to make their show better. So I'm not mad at them for that. Yeah.
They're borrowing a little. Now, if they borrow from duets, then we have a problem.
That's when they went wrong.
That's when we have a problem.
Yeah.
Let's see now.
So Let It Be. Did you think it was a great performance? They loved it.
Now, Let It Be. I did. I wrote the same thing that when I led you. I'm sorry, I baited you on that question because
right.
I said he's going live.
Yeah,
I think he's going to go live. He's going to be that story, and he's a big teddy bear, soulful voice.
Big voice, got that great vibrato.
And he seemed more mature than even his age. He's 27, but there just seems like there's a lot of life story there.
Right, yeah, definitely.
So, we'll see a lot by Brian in the coming weeks, but I don't know. Okay, is Idol okay, X Factor is very pop. And then, like voice, would you call that more of like a singer-songwriter type of deal, or?
I don't know, it's a little bit of everything too, just because like with the coaches and stuff, they have a little bit of all the genres.
It just seems like to me, maybe it's just because they were in Charlotte this week, picking up a lot of country.
A lot of country, which is not, it's a great move.
Absolutely.
Great music, like we like country music, so or I do. You like country?
I love Rascal Flatts. I love old school country. I used to work in a country bar. Come on.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. See Keith Urban, Travis Tritt, Trouble. Oh yeah, I'm all about it. Yeah.
John Michael Montgomery. Come on.
Oh, I swear.
So yeah, I think it's definitely just because of the location we were in. We were in New York, even though there was some country in New York too. But Jimmy Smith was a great representation of country music.
Better than Rascal Flatts?
I'm saying as far as like the rest of all the people we heard today. He said he was influenced by Keith Urban, and he sang Rascal Flatts, God Bless the Broken Road, which he sang it totally different than how they sing it. I thought it was a great audition.
You liked it?
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad.
You hated it?
I didn't know. Absolutely. No.
Usually, I know. I'm just reading you like usual. Like, oh, I'm good. Glad you liked it because I hated it. That's what usually would happen.
You're wise to my tricks. Time to change up the tricks. Okay, I liked it, but I wonder if that's his go-to song. Everyone has a go-to song, and I want to see him. I want to see him sing other stuff.
Right.
I want to see what he does outside. I don't know if he'll make it out of Hollywood. Out of Hollywood Week, but. Maybe, hopefully, he'll prove me wrong. There are some people that proved us wrong tonight, and she's coming up a little bit later. But it's a yes. It's a yes for me, Somalia. I'm trying to be kind of a hard judge. So
right. Speaking of hard judges,
yeah.
No, they one thing that he hinted on and talked about was he was nervous about Nikki. The N-A-N, nervous about Nikki, because coming in with country music, you know, I think they just think that she doesn't like that kind of music or whatever. Do you think he had any reason to think that she might not like him?
That is, that's. Do
you think that a lot of people feel that way coming with country music, or maybe the same way, somebody R&B would look at Keith Urban and think maybe he's not going to like it?
That's an unfortunate thumbs down on the contestants coming in because Nikki has been rather astute.
Great.
Both weeks, she even says, it may not be my genre, but, I really like it. I really like it, Blondie. It's a horrible impression aside, but she's willing to step out of her own music, and she understands. Yeah, thank you. She appreciates stuff music that is not in her wheelhouse, but she knows. She talks about tone. She talks about I love her as a judge. I really do.
Yeah, she's doing a great job.
Yeah, so I think hopefully the contestants can see past that on both sides.
Yeah, I think they will as they start to see more and more and kind of get to know them as just what their persona is in the industry and what their image is. Now they get to kind of meet them on a personal basis. Yeah. So,
can I just say I'm obsessed with Nikki? I'm obsessed.
What would you call her if you had a nickname?
I don't know.
Cotton Candy.
Cotton Candy, yeah. I want her on every singing show. I want her on X Factor, duets, The Voice. I want her on all of them. Simon, you messed up by going with Brittany. You should have gotten Nikki. I'm telling you, just my opinion. So now, followed up after that, let's move on. Since we've been giving a lot of good, it's time to bring it back down.
Yeah, bring it bad.
Let's exactly. We're gonna go with some bad here. Matthew Florence from South Carolina. He thinks he's the next Brad Paisley.
Yeah, but we found out that he might be just a great model. Yeah. He had that walk down. He said that people say that he sounds like Brad Paisley. He sang a Brad Paisley song, When I Get Where I'm Going, which is a great song. Okay. Love Brad Paisley, love his writing style on both ends. He does a lot of different stuff. But coming into it, we knew it was going to be a little weird story because he's talking about how he performs, which his stage presence is a lot of movement and eye contact, which you just knew that it was going bad from the very get-go. Man.
So that's my thing. So did producers set him up?
Absolutely. But this one, I don't feel as bad as I felt about one later in the show. But I just think is just because we've been doing this for so long and watching auditions, and in the very few first seasons, we looked forward to these crazy auditions because you get to see some stuff that you weren't used to seeing. But now that we've been through it for 12 seasons, some of it gets old to me.
Yeah, and it's a long audition process. We're going to do probably 2 or 3 more of these shows of just straight auditions.
Right.
And
which, I mean, is good. Now we're starting to learn about the new judges, so that's cool. But just the whole...
I know you and I, we both have feelings about the bad auditions. Right. It's just less bad auditions. And, I'll say they started this last season. They've been doing it for a few seasons, but the last 2 seasons, they seem to develop more in these deeper character stories. They're going longer with these in-depth profiles on some of these singers. And there's one that actually one of our AfterBuzzers brought up that she was watching the show with us, that it actually almost ruined the audition because we got to hear how good he was when they were doing his bio.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, it's good. I mean, are we ever happy?
Oh, nope, we're never happy.
Well, let's move on to someone that made me happy, and it was that new nominate in Idol.
Right, yeah.
Isabel Gonzalez, 17 years old. They pluck her out of class, and cute as a button, adorable. What'd you think of the music? What'd you think about her vocally?
Well, she's saying nothing good. What is it? Nothing could ever come.
Nothing could ever change this love by Sam Cooke.
I wrote 3 different titles and then crossed 2 of them out. I immediately just from seeing her walk in, felt like she's going to make it far just by her look, just how she's, she got that cute, cool style. She doesn't look like anybody else that we've kind of seen in the last couple of years, but her voice is so interesting. It's first of all, it's great for studio, just how kind of cool and quick she was with it. But it sounds great and strong live, which is kind of hard. Sometimes we see these great musicians that have a studio voice, and people say that, you'd be great in the studio when it's such an interesting, cool voice. But the fact that she could back it up with her breath control, I felt like I think she's going to go so far in this competition. Effortless.
Effervescent.
Yeah, I think they used that word too, yeah.
Now, she had a little bit of, tell me if I'm wrong, a little Amy Winehouse-ish.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
A little bit of that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we don't hear more of that. Maybe it is unique, but I mean, it just changes up the competition. It changes the flow, for our heavy balladeers, our Mariah Whitney types, our straight up rockers, and our country artists. And then you get this little pocket, this little kind of retro jazz, soul, R&B vibe to her. So.
Right. I think since there's so many different styles of music, and this day and age, we see a lot of crossover artists and people blending their different sounds. So it's kind of refreshing to see something new like this that we're not used to.
Right. Like I said, I don't know. Des Bond is still on my mind, Mark. Get her out.
No, man, she's good.
No, but let's move on. Okay. I don't know about this next contestant.
Your voice went extremely high right there. Are you lying right now, or what is it? You actually do know about this next contestant?
Is it Taisha Bertha?
Betha, I think?
Betha.
Yeah.
Okay. And they had a split vote. What did you think about her? The rocker from the South, which is interesting because they were getting so much country, African American, in which I think some of the judges were kind of like, whoa.
Yeah, which also makes it cool, which Nikki was talking about. Doing alternative rock. She's in a band called Carson, which they showed some clips, I think, that must have been their YouTube stuff or something with her band. And the cool thing about her and her band is that they're all very supportive. I think part of that is because they're all still in high school, I believe. So they're kind of all, they think and realize that if she gets some recognition from the show, that they're all gonna they could possibly all get a career out of this. I think, and I do want to see her with a full band, whether it's hers or somebody else's, and I'm going to check some stuff out on YouTube later to see what I think about that performance. Singing a cappella, especially with her style of music, is not easy because she's a bit restricted when she's singing, and it's that kind of there's those hard stops rather than being very fluent. Definitely like the second song better when she did, because she did Johnny Cash Folsom Prison first, which was cool because she said she was going to do her own thing with it. She didn't change it up too much, but it's kind of it was the surprise factor that she's coming in singing Folsom Prison. So I get that. Her second song, she sang Alanis Morissette, and I think that was enough to at least get 2 of them on her board, on her side.
No, and here's the thing with her. You can hear her vocal talent. You can.
Yeah,
there's a voice in there. And side note, why didn't they go out for America's Got Talent instead if she has a band?
Right.
You know, because what other reality show can you be a band and actually compete in?
X Factor you can too. Kind of.
Sure.
Well, you'd all have to sing, I guess.
I don't. She wouldn't fit in the X Factor. Slanted to such a young pop teeny kind of thing, and
I don't know. But what I do see with her doing this competition, what they can make her into, what they can work on her image and stuff and make it. They have a lot to build on. She already has so much, and she's so different than anything else we've seen. I would have voted yes. What would you vote? What would you voted?
Originally I would have voted no. However, here comes the Nicki Minaj. This is like a Nicki Minaj bouquet fest. Nicki brought the best perspective because she said that's not the package she expected to see. The fact that she brought that is give this person a chance. It's still the audition process. I mean, she has a voice. I want to hear something else. I want to see what can be done with her.
For sure.
You know, and everyone was already kind of prejudging her. Even the judges, you could say, you know, the format of the show was judging Taisha right off the bat. But Nicki was really fighting that. You can see Nicki, she's kind of like by herself a lot of times in these decisions.
Right.
But because if I would have listened to what Nicki said, I would have changed my vote to yes. Give her a shot. Because I was like, she's okay, but I mean, there's a voice there, but Nicki would have swayed me.
Right, and which is what we talked about. I don't remember if this is how they used to do it when they had 4 judges before, but the fact that Keith Urban is the deciding judge because they're in North Carolina, since he said yes, she gets to go through.
Yeah, let us know, chat roll, guys who are listening, or if you're listening to us on iTunes or YouTube, let us know in the comment box for sure that if whenever there's a tie, if in the past they would break it like they did tonight with selecting a certain judge.
When they had 4, like Cara DiAguardi, who just had a baby.
No, she's expecting a baby.
Expecting a baby.
So you see the future already.
Oh, right. Well, she's part of the American Idol family. We should talk about her.
You're right. So, you know what? The best judge, one of the best judges they've had, and she never got her due. I don't think she had a fair shake.
I don't think so either. But that was one of those times when they're just throwing one judge at a time to try to help fix things. And because she didn't have a huge name that people knew about out of the industry, kind of wasn't easy. But
because if you were in the industry, you knew exactly who she was. Yeah, she had that pedigree behind her. So speaking of pedigree, guys, I'm gonna change it up for 1 second before we get into our next singer.
Please do.
I want to mention something. If you go on our site on AfterBuzzTV.com, we have a new little feature, and it's where you can get your shop on. So you can get all sorts of AfterBuzz T-shirts, mugs. Marissa, what else do we got in the store? Do we have a whole bunch of stuff that I'm missing here?
Posters?
Onesies, hats.
Onesies.
Yeah, onesies.
All right. Do they have
baby clothes.
You already have one of those, JC. You knew that already.
Well, I was going to drive up sales. I was going to say if we can sell 10 in the next week, you and I will show up in onesies.
Yep, done.
Oh,
there we go.
that'd be awesome to see.
Marissa just bought 10.
So buy some onesies or some mugs or hats and T-shirts, guys, because all of that does help us out quite a bit. So
for sure. And the water tastes great out of these. Cheers to that.
Salute. Okay, so let's move on to. No, you know what? We need to move on to the fight.
Let's do it. It's snowballing. It's almost. It's like the elephant in the room right now.
Did you see it coming?
Yes.
You did.
Yes.
You do see.
You always see it coming. It's constantly just right there in our face. So
I feel bad for Summer Cunningham.
Yes.
Because who's going to remember Summer? Who's going to remember, I believe she got it. Yeah, I don't even remember she got it. Yes, I wrote a full page on just the fight, just on my notes, because Nicki stood up for the girl. She's picking on the girl. Once again, it was kind of Nicki going on her own way. She's standing by her, by herself,
right,
and just told everyone off.
Well, because this is the first time we saw even Keith Urban step into it and kind of was a little uneasy about the fact that she came in. She sang "Lean on Me," Bill Withers, and they asked her what kind of style she did before. She said, "Well, she did the country thing," and she didn't mean it any disrespect by it, but I didn't see anything really wrong with it, and I understand as you're trying to find your lane and what you should do. Partially, you want to make the audience happy, but you want to make yourself happy and be true to yourself. So the fact that she tried the country thing, and maybe she's putting some more soul into it. Not that country doesn't have soul, but that's kind of how it came off.
Yeah.
When she was speaking about it. But she wanted to, pull something from another genre to kind of to fulfill who she really is as an artist. Keith Urban he's been there all day, so he's going through a lot, going through all these auditions, so it's understandable. But I like the fact that Nikki kind of spoke her mind and was I believe she was right.
Keith was having a sensitive day. Just a little sensitive.
He was.
He was. Come on. I mean, she meant no harm, but and it was just an excuse. It's maybe stuff that we did not see that was building with Nikki and the rest of the judges, because when they started arguing, Mariah said, I picked it up. I don't know if you picked it up under her breath. She's like, well, at least I'm not just only judging them by their clothes.
Right. Yeah, I heard that too. That was that was a good line.
Little mean girl action going on here. So okay, we got it from you. You're on Team Nikki on this one, and
but when we went to commercial, they told us about when we come back, we're going to see the little feud. And I was like, and they showed a little bit of it. But going into that audition, I didn't really see it building that high. But it got there.
Yeah.
It got there. Like it started off kind of simple. And the fact that Keith was involved, I was like, oh, it's going to, be fine. But the good thing, the overall outcome of it was that they're like, you know what? You do have a good enough voice. So.
Oh, yeah, we got a girl up on stage. Wow, she's singing. Oh, yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
It's your job, guys.
Yeah.
Come on, judge. Focus on the singer, not about yourselves, even though we tune in and watch because of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Gosh, we're suckers to it. I know.
It's good.
But I'm trying to think anyone else that stood out, like right now. Like, do you like Brandy Alexandria Hamilton? Oh, she had like 4 or 5 names.
Yeah, she threw me off by her name. But
we would have to rewind it just to pick up her names.
Right, yeah, and she's she's a Navy reservist, and she used to get in trouble for singing while they were like cleaning their boots or in the shower. People would tell her to shut up, but she sang "All I Can Do Is Cry." Etta James, she was cool, smooth. She had that full voice, a cool vibrato. I loved her.
Yes.
Oh, there it is. That's the one that I was talking about.
So you know why? Because I didn't like her as much as you.
At all? You would have gave her a yes, though.
See, I hate you, man. I hate you because you're right. But it's like I'm borrowing this from Simon. It's a small Y, small yes.
Yeah.
It's just because I liked her. It's just I like good singers, but I want great singers. Even at this point, call me jaded, call me just watching too many of these competitions.
Right. Well, it's definitely something we need, because with all of these singing competitions, you need the best of the best. Otherwise, you got nothing. You don't want to come second in ratings. Luckily, right now, American Idol is the only show on, so.
Sticking to the NASCAR theme, if you're not first, you're last.
Yeah, I've been living my whole life to that.
Yeah, so she's okay, and I love Etta James. So I figure when you pick these, like an Etta James type of song,
you have a lot to live up to. So
yes, or like Adele and these type of singers,
I like the fact that what Keith said. He said, through all the nervousness and your dry voice, you still sounded good. It's like, what?
What did that mean?
I don't know.
You're a singer.
Well, I know the nervousness, and maybe she's got cottonmouth up there just because she's so nervous. But I didn't really, that didn't come off to me in any way.
Yeah,
but,
if anyone knows. Marissa, do you know what dry voice means?
No, I don't.
I think Marissa, you may have to drink some of that water in your AfterBuzz mug. You're a little dry there.
I
don't know what that means.
All right, enough with being nice.
But she wasn't as good as the next girl.
And I was so ready to rip into the next girl. I was ready for my train. I even wrote "Time for a Train Wreck."
Yep.
I thought it was going to be next coming of William Hung, and
she made me smile, man.
She was awesome.
Made me smile.
We were talking about Ashley Smith.
Absolutely, the sandwich girl. That was the funniest thing about the show, when she had this huge sandwich, cuts in half, and just takes a bite out of it, and you can hear even when she's chewing and like the mic hitting it or whatever, and she's like, that is a good sandwich right there. That was just hilarious. Her whole image, her whole character. Blondie is funny.
Yeah, and you can tell she was talking to everyone in the talking to everyone in the audience, the whole auditioners, and I was like, okay, she's gonna be bad. Yeah, she's gonna impress us with her dancing.
A little bit annoying, in that sense. Because she broke up an interview. That girl was just looking at her like, you're a jerk right now, stealing shine time. I
ate my words with this girl.
She came through, man.
She was awesome. She was entertaining. Not only that, the breaks that she had in the flow of the song, because Cowboy Casanova, Carrie Underwood, and
not an easy song.
No, it's country, but it's I'm gonna call it almost like country funk,
right?
Because it's got that little run, that
the little pre-chorus, the
thank you,
yeah, that whole thing. But she did great with it. The fact that she sang that song was great. I want to ask you this though.
Okay.
Put you in the hot seat.
All right.
Do you?
We don't have the air conditioner on anyway. I'm sweating like a hooker in church right now.
I'm like, if I'm sweating, JC's got to be sweating. He's got 9 shirts on.
9 shirts and a man beard.
I don't know how to grow one of those. But all right, where was I going with this? Okay. Do you think that is what percentage of her whole character is really her, or is she doing it to play the game? Which, because we get the sob stories, we got the great artists, and we have the characters. Those are kind of like the 3 yeses. This is the game we're playing because it is a competition, and you have to stick to what you're good at. So what percentage of her character is actually her?
That is a great question. What percentage, I'm buying time as I say this, is it her? Honestly, I'm going to say it was 80% her.
What? And
oh, you disagree?
75%.
Oh, really?
75. What? That's what it is.
It's 75. That was 75,
the answer. Yes, that's the answer.
Dude, why are you messing with me, man?
And if you would have guessed under, and this was Price is Right, you would have been able to still go to the showcase round. But you were over, so sorry.
I don't know what happened to Mark Allen between seasons, but I kind of like this guy.
All right, good.
No, she like Skylar last season. The sassy girl from the South and just playing up the country and riding her 4-wheelers. Hi, y'all.
Yeah.
Skylar.
But that's Skylar, though.
But it could be a little bit when she auditioned. It's like a heightened version of yourself.
But you kind of need to. I mean.
So that's what Ashley was. That's just she's just putting a little into it. Do you think I'm like this off camera? Absolutely.
Crazy, man.
No, but
yeah. So I agree with that. But she had she is a huge character. But I loved her. The fact that she came through and sang great.
Yes.
That I can't wait to see her again.
She's gonna have so many things. Imagine if she makes it to the live shows and all the genres that you sing during the season. I can't wait to see her theatrics. Maybe she should.
The fact that she could sing that song like that.
Maybe she should have been on X Factor. I'm just thinking because if she seems like she could be a little theatrical.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely.
And Idol is a scaled down version. It is the white guy with a guitar, hopefully white girl with a guitar this year, or anyone with a guitar this year. Just it's more about the performance,
right,
not the show.
Right.
So.
And do you I'll bring up something later. I'm gonna write this down. I had an idea.
Yeah, buddy. All right, so let's move on because we've still got 74 singers, Marissa. So we know we're running short of time. So, and that was Blondie. Once again, Nicki Minaj with the nicknames, but
right.
Janelle Arthur from Tennessee. I think you liked her more than I did. The theme part singer, the one who sang with Dolly Parton when she was a little girl. And the judges loved her. I was okay with it. I'm trying to figure out what stands out. The key change, lower registers. I'm just okay. I can't wait to get to the girl that sounds like Joshua Ledet. I'm sorry. Okay,
right.
I'm just behind time.
Yeah, compared to like that girl, not as great for me. And like Mackenzie last week that sang some of the country where her dad was with Vince Gill. So we've been going country lately. So she has a lot to live up to, or a lot of competition in her same genre and same kind of category of a singer and as a performer. So. I thought it was a good song choice, and the fact that she came and sang it in front of Keith Urban, who sings the song, who we didn't think he did, but he actually does. It's a great song. I feel like she has a pure voice. She's really good, and she showed a lot with her audition with that song.
Yeah,
I thought she was good. I'm not saying great.
I think it's because the air conditioner is off. Thank you, Marissa, because I'm now just saying everyone is really sucky.
She's on fire right now.
No. She was good. She was good. But
Yeah.
I want great. I do.
Right.
And maybe I think the next person gave us a great story. And this is the one we were talking about. I think his name was Rodney Barber, the voice of Charlotte. And
Which is a lot to live up to. If you're going to lead with the voice of Charlotte, that's hard to live up to. However, we got to learn about his story, how he was 4 years ago he was homeless, and he wouldn't have been able to have a second chance if people weren't helping him out. So he kind of makes an extra effort to help out others.
Now, see, and this is the one where we had an AfterBuzzer in watching the show with us, and she brought up the fact that it kind of ruins it for the fan if you hear in his bio story, you hear him singing to people, and you're like, you already know that he's going to be good, but that little bit of element of surprise,
right?
That's I think,
especially with a story, I guess, because they kind of do that every other time. Maybe they try to switch it up a little bit, but the fact that he was a street performer, they were trying to show us that rather than just tell us about it.
Okay.
And they even interviewed somebody else that was on the street and that he had helped out or something like that too. So you get to see what kind of person he was and kind of have a day in his life. So I'm not completely mad at it. Yeah. But I understand why you would not like that.
You know, he reminds me of, was it Jermaine Jones from last season?
Right. Yeah.
But you know what? I take that back. I thought Jermaine was stronger.
Absolutely. I think he has a lot of potential.
Okay.
Big letters, a lot. All right. He says on my pad of paper. But he's saying Edwin McCain, I'll Be, which is a great song. It's a great song to audition with. It's almost played out because it's used so often, but it was a little rough for me.
Really?
He has a big voice. It wasn't as smooth as it could have been. But that comes with the nerves and getting used to singing in front of people and stuff too, or in front of these huge people in entertainment that are your judges. So I think he's a cool guy. He means well. He has a great voice. He just needs a little more training, and I'm glad they're giving him another chance.
You brought up something while telling his story. I would be worried if he doesn't make it past Hollywood, because we don't, the further you go in these competitions, when you get that no, it's that much harder on you.
Right.
And he's had a very difficult life, but I mean, is he okay now? I don't know if they really talked about that in his bio. Is he no longer homeless?
I don't think he is. He said 4 years ago he was homeless, and when he came out of the audition, he was there with, I would just assume it's his girlfriend.
Okay.
And they hugged, and you just saw how much it meant to him. So I'm glad. I think this is a positive thing for him.
It's something I hope that they take into consideration with the judges, is saying no earlier, like let's say in this audition process, just to spare them if later on they're just going to say no anyway before they go to the live shows.
Right, because he's kind of on the cusp right there, because he's not brilliant yet. Mm-hmm. But he's not bad either, so he's kind of on the fence with that. So, yeah, I agree with that a little bit.
And the chat roll is blowing up over here. Hey guys, let us know who your favorite auditioner was tonight for sure.
Mm-hmm. We'll bring that up when we talk about ours. See if we have the same.
Oh, that's
mind.
Right. Who our favorite was? Yeah. That's right. Well, let's move on to. I think I already know who my favorite is, and it's this next girl.
What?
It's Candace Glover. She was one of my favorites.
She was great.
Candace Glover, she made it to Vegas last season.
Kind of remember her a little bit.
You know what? Yeah, I vaguely.
Very vaguely.
Yeah, I remember her. And she says she sounds like Joshua Ladette. And right then and there, I'm like, whoa. You Sorry, that was my
Still sweating.
Yeah.
Now sweating even more. Yeah, she was, and by saying Joshua Ladette, she meant she kind of has that church voice and does the tricks and stuff. She got a standing ovation, and Randy and Mariah both said that this is the best audition of the season. What song did she sing? Do you remember?
Let me see.
I wrote everything else except for that, but
same here.
Yeah, she was great though, man. She showed so much with that audition, and her how big her range is, and the tricks that she was doing. Ridiculous.
This is what I was waiting for. Mm-hmm. This is why I watched the show. She wasn't good. She was great. I counted 3 instances, even though this isn't a marker of someone's good or not, but I counted 3 Josh-isms in her audition.
Yeah.
And from the gravel, from the low gravel, from the grinding and all that, just like Joshua. And the funny thing was, let me know if this is true, that when she was walking off after she got her golden ticket, the background music was Joshua Ledet.
Yeah, I think it was. Well, I didn't think it was at first, and you're like, hey, is that Joshua? And then, yeah, as soon as you got to hear a little bit more of his voice and the music kind of went down a little bit, you could definitely hear that it was no other than Joshua Ledet or somebody that sounds a lot like him. So we don't know for sure, but we should have Shazammed it while we were watching.
I'm excited. You know why? Because she's going to get past Hollywood. She's going to go live, I hope.
Yeah.
Because I love the Joshua element from the show. I love having, I'm
It's 100% necessary.
yeah.
Huge.
And luckily, Randy didn't say she can sing the phone book.
Right.
Luckily, so we were spared on that one.
But the next girl could definitely kill some frogs, though. Frog gigging.
Frog gigging.
Okay.
You ever had frog legs?
No, you have.
Absolutely.
I'm just, I guess,
More than
not
once.
used to it.
I've had them in Mexico, Guatemala, all over the place. So, getting through the froggy stuff. What'd you think of the voice?
I thought she has a great voice. I thought it was cool. She had very sweet and mature for her style. She sang "Pride and Joy" by Bonnie Raitt. Yeah, I thought it was good. That was cool.
Yeah, I was more impressed with the frog.
You just love frog legs.
I do. I love frog legs. Okay, but she did hit. I loved her lower key, her lower register. I loved when she went low.
Yeah.
I thought she was okay at first, but when she went low, that's when she got me.
That's what's going to differentiate herself from everybody else.
Absolutely. So running a little bit short on time, so let's skip. The next guy was the bacon guy, and that would just be selfish if we talked about bacon. So
yeah,
we've only got a few minutes left. So let's talk about let's finish strong with, was it Sarithra Gwynn?
Charissa Gwynn? Something like that?
Please help us with pronunciation, guys.
Well, they come so quick, it's hard to get every single thing. But her boyfriend was in a bad accident this past year and almost died, was in critical condition. He's had 8 surgeries, 2 more to go. And she brought her daughter, London, who was 3 years old, and didn't tell the boyfriend, who is doing much better now. So thank God for that. But she came, and I liked her off the bat just because she was like a beautiful girl. She brings her daughter in. She's like a great mom. And the fact that she's doing this, and she's making all the right moves thus far. Even until singing, I was already just like, all right, this girl's awesome.
You were sold.
Yeah.
You were sold. Simon would have loved her.
Yes.
And her daughter had a nickname for Nicki Minaj herself. So
Yeah.
touche. Dun dun.
Yeah.
Dun dun. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, funky. You liked it?
Yes. As soon as she said she was singing Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and the fact that we were closing up with her, I knew it was going to be amazing. I thought that was the best song choice of the night. Just because what she did with it was so original. A girl singing that song is already, makes it original in her own from the very beginning. I loved every bit of that song. Yeah.
If you're not watching us live, well, you should, because I'm dancing horribly. No, but
yeah. So I just feel like every bit of that song was great, and they wanted to show a different side of her.
That's right.
They played Leanne Rimes, little Leanne Rimes, flipped the script on them. How do I live? And that was great. That was great too. She has so much to offer.
Yeah. She's the girl with a lot of tools. She can go to a lot of places with it. Nikki cried. I cried. Heck, our executive producer, Phil, cried. We all were crying watching her because it was a great performance. Literally, yeah, she's gonna
do very well.
It'll be hard not to see her in the live shows.
It just shows that how much she can do. She can take on anything, make anything sound great.
Yeah. So I you know what? I don't even have much to disagree with you there. I think she was fantastic.
You shouldn't.
Yes, sir. But yeah, overall, great show, man. We had everything. We had tears. We had fights. We had blood, sweat, and tears. Literally, I mean, it was an action-packed Idol. So we don't want to bother you with news and gossip this week. So we'll save it for next week. But I say we just move on to predictions.
Let's do it.
All right.
And we're going to predict, because you didn't get to be part of predictions last week, where we talked about who we thought, what genre was going to win. So first I want to say this. Do you think the fact that we have all these different judges with Nicki Minaj, Keith Urban, Mariah Carey, the dog, so do you think that having Mariah, Nicki, and Keith Urban is going to bring so much more of their genre of people that like that music anyways, that's gonna be kind of influence the overall winner? White guy with guitar has been winning all the time, but now Nicki Minaj brings all of her Barbies this way, so maybe you get some hip hop people in there, or because Keith Urban's there, it's just gonna bring even more country people. Go.
I am, a conspiracy theorist.
You are.
So I'm going to go with, because they are trying to get rid of that white guy with the guitar who's won the last 5 seasons. And ain't nothing wrong with that. But will it happen this season? Sadly, yes.
Think so? It's gonna keep going.
I think
Sadly, yes.
no. I mean, I want to see someone else. I want to see a different type of music. I want to be surprised. I want something new. I want like an Adam Lambert. I want something different, new. Shock me. Give me, keep me on my toes. I want that.
Yeah,
will we get that? I do not know.
You got that.
And who's to say we have yet to see the Jessica Sanchez of this season? Remember they keep a lot of these people away from us that
we haven't seen them.
We haven't seen them. Remember, we covered 18 people and maybe half of them were good, but there was a total of 37 yeses on today's show. So we've missed some great performances in there, and we'll have to tune in to the live shows in Hollywood Week to find them. So with that said, they're giving us the hook. Mark, where can they find you, buddy?
Find me, Mark E. Allen. Just started my show back up in Hollywood. If you're in the area, the Parlor Hollywood, every Saturday night at 10 o'clock. I perform and host a great music showcase, so come check that out. What about you, JC? What you got going on,
Well,
man?
actually, you know what? I'm not going to be so... I got to pass it on to Marissa.
Oh, yeah, please do.
A lot of people on AfterBuzz, do they know that Marissa does a ton of shows? Marissa, what shows you got coming up this week?
I do Glee and Once Upon a Time.
Ooh, how's Glee?
It's good. It picks up again tomorrow, so I'm excited. And we also have a special guest coming in.
Nice.
Definitely tune in for that. And
Nice. So,
occasionally you'll see me on Here Comes Honey Boo Boo as well.
And they can find you where?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Serafini TV.
nice. Cool. And keeping it in the American type of theme, make sure to tune in tomorrow night for the American Horror Story finale. I'm one of the hosts on that one, so definitely tune in. It's going to be very similar to Idol, not really, but if you're a fan of horror, check us out. So with that said, you can find me at The Everyday Man. So for Mark, Marissa, I'm JC. We'll see you next time. Stick around for Nashville coming up next.
Good night.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later. It is hot in here.
Oh, I missed.
Expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.